With the stagnation of the first-person shooter genre, everyone has been looking for a new something to play, something that is not Call of Duty or Battlefield or Overwatch, because, like Overwatch 2 has been a huge flop. I mean, you have Valorant people, right? But Valorant is a totally different animal to something like Battlefield. Those two aren't really comparable. Yes, they're both first-person shooters, but a Battlefield and a Valorant sit in two very different things. Like, if I'm in the mood to play Valorant, I'm playing Valorant, right? Or CSGO. I'm not playing Battlefield. Like, if I'm in the mood to play a Battlefield-type gameplay, I'm going to play Battlefield, okay? Or I'm going to maybe throw on some Ground War from the recent Call of Duties, although I haven't been playing those much lately, because Call of Duty has just kind of sort of run its way, if you will. Like, I feel like the peak of modern Call of Duty was the release of Warzone. That's kind of when everything peaked. Like, for the first little while of Verdansk is when things really peak for Call of Duty. But let's talk about something that's going to be new and fresh. Let's talk about BattleBit Remastered, right? So this is going to be something like a fresh take on the Battlefield style of gameplay. And it brings so much to the table that I guarantee I'm going to forget something. And it does release today. It's going to be it's a fantastic little shooter here. It's a low poly game. You can run this thing on like a 400 series NVIDIA card, which is just insane. I mean, we're up in the 4000 series, and you can run it on like 10 generations old of cards. Like, it's just fantastic what it'll run on. It looks like a Roblox game. If that bothers you, I encourage you to give it a try, because I promise you it's well worth trying. And, it's going to be one of the best shooters to come out this year. I mean, we're going to have a big year for shooters. We've got X-Defiant coming in the summer. We've got BattleBit Remastered, right? There's some seriously good stuff on the Fortnite Creative 2.0. Like, some of the stuff people are doing over there is just mind-boggling. Right, like Battlefield is starting to get into a good place. I've been having fun with 2042. It hasn't crashed on me. Like, it's been running well. I've been having fun. So that's starting to get into a good place. But BattleBit Remastered is where I think you're going to want to spend your time for the coming little months if you're any sort of a fan of Battlefield at all. And here's the reason. It's because it is innovative, right? So Battlefield, right, whenever I was 13, 14 years old, I was playing Battlefield 3 a ton. Like, that was one of my go-to games. Me and my buddies would get on, we'd play Battlefield 3, or we would play Call of Duty at the time, whichever one it was. 2011, what would we Call of Duty in 2011? I don't know. I know Battlefield 3 came out in 2011, but I'm not sure what Call of Duty came out in 2011. Hang on just a second. I think it was Modern Warfare 3? Yes, Modern Warfare 3, 2011. Okay. So that would either be playing Modern Warfare 3 or Battlefield 3. Mostly Battlefield 3. It was just such a great game, so much fun. We loved the Battlefield thing. And if you'd asked me back then, what would Battlefield look like in 12 years? I would be like, Battlefield would be the biggest game ever, right? Like, you've got to be fighting with 200-300 people. I mean, big, vehicle battles, big chaos, all that stuff. It's got to happen. It's got to be in Battlefield. Fast forward, where are we at with Battlefield? It's kind of more of the same, right? Like, they've tried to innovate. They've put it in a couple new modes. Like Mega Conquest is a big thing. But, like, they've really not done much to innovate on what they had, right? The player counts are still basically the same. Everything is still basically the same as it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Like, Battlefield hasn't changed that much. Call of Duty's kind of more of the same as well. Where have the biggest innovations come from in the recent years in the shooter genre? That's right, the indie developers. It's not the big publishers. It's not the big developers. The indie developers are the ones who have come up with all of the big things. Where did the Battle Royale genre start? I'll give you a second to write up your answer. That's right, it was a mod, okay? A mod on Arma. I think you could play on Arma and DayZ, sort of, because wasn't DayZ started as a mod? I'm foggy on the history, right? But they started off as a mod with little indie developers, people who just worked on them and didn't make any money off the concept, right? And then H1Z1 comes out, takes the world by storm. People are streaming it on Twitch. It's just a big thing. Was it Justin TV back then? I don't know. But people are streaming it, become a big thing, right? And then PUBG comes out. Fortnite. I mean, hello. These are like some of the biggest games ever to release. And where did that innovation start? That's right, a little indie developer, not a huge AAA publisher. So why are we looking towards Activision or DICE or EA or, all these big publishers, Blizzard, right, with Overwatch 2? I mean, they just kind of let that flop. Why are we looking to all these big developers and publishers for all this innovation when we should be looking at indie developers who have in the past been the ones who innovate anyways? So let's look at what makes this game so fantastic. This game being BattleBit. You can play in battles with up to 254 players. So that's 127 on each team. This footage that you're seeing on screen of all these people running around, these are actual players. This is just insanity. The fact that this game has so much, you can run it on basically anything. And you can play with 254 people in a lobby. Like, that's nuts. And they also have features that even modern Battlefield, to my knowledge, do not have. Like, you can rappel out of helicopters and then fly the helicopter back, pick up more people, rappel them, and back and forth, back and forth. Like, who does? Why don't we have that? Why is it taking Battlefield 15 years and they still haven't done that? Like, what is the deal with that? And yes, I have played every single Battlefield game because I didn't realize that until I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, I'm playing Battlefield, and she's asking me what I was playing. I was like, I've played every one of them. And it just shocked me to know that I had played every single Battlefield game, the good and the bad. And, Battlefield hasn't really innovated much in the last little bit. Like, the last time they really did some innovating was with Battlefield 1, when they dropped in, what was the name of the mode? Where it was like a huge war. I forget the name of the mode. It's slipping my mind. You're charging forward, take objectives. It's like a big war. Big, long offensive. Anyways, that was really like the last time they really innovated much on their formula. Like, when they released a new Battlefield, they're like, yep, it's got Conquest. You got some deathmatch modes. Oh, our creative class is very good, which I will say it is very good in Battlefield 2042. But beyond that, they don't really innovate much, right? They don't change much. It's the Battlefield. You know what you're getting. But little indie game like BattleBit, right, we're going to have all these modes at launch, all these free, team deathmatch, all this stuff, Conquest, and the Battlefield formula, but there's going to be 254 people on the map, right? Just insanity. And did I mention the environment is fully destructible? If someone's in a building, camping or whatever, you can just wipe the building out on their head. I mean, that's just insanity. That's little things like that I would have been like, yeah, that's what Battlefield's going to have in 10 years. Definitely going to have a fully destructible environment, which it kind of does. But, to the degree of what this is in this game, like BattleBit, I mean, it's unreal what these indie developers have been able to do here. And I'm super excited to play this game. You should definitely give it a whirl. It's only $15 on Steam, and it's well worth your money and well worth your time. And if it's not, you can refund it after a couple hours. But hope you're all having a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Probably going to talk about some Battlefield stuff. I want to talk about the state of Battlefield and where it's gone to and where I think it can improve. But overall, that's it for this one. See you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.